I noticed something. There are some people who really claims Roselle, and there's some people saying fraud cell, right? Code cell or fraud cell. I wonder who I'm gonna be in the future. Am I gonna be team code cell or team road wait, code and fraud, yeah. Which one? I wonder. Old Neil's method of repayment. Another old Neil named chapter. 7:30 in the evening around Moretti's family dining table. Klein, why do you need to work so early as a consultant? Will the emergency matters at the security company be more dangerous? Benson forked a potato from a dish of potato stewed beef as he raised the matter in concern. Klein carefully spat out the bones from pan-fried fish and gave his prepared answer. Prepared answer, wow. A batch of historical documents needed immediate shipping of Packland. I had to be present to handle the handover and make sure there was nothing missing. As you can guess, the bunch of fist-swinging bastards don't know any Fasak. Racist! Historical documents needed immediate shipping of I had to be present to handle the handover and make sure there was nothing missing. As you can guess, the bunch of fist-swinging bastards don't know any Fasak. Oh no, maybe we're right. Guys, he's like a Sanji. He's the oh my god. Sanji is such a fucking I don't know. I like Sanji, but I also think he's a yeah. I don't know. Upon hearing his answer, Benson, who had finished viewing his food, could not help but sigh. Knowledge is truly important. Making use of his burn decline, took out the remaining £5 note. Handed to Benson. Some additional payment as today. It's time you get some decent clothes too. £5! Benson and Melissa said in unison. Oh my god, £5! You like men? I hate Sanji. Benson took the note and looked it repeatedly. He said in both shock and doubt. This secured company is sure generous. His weekly salary was £1.10 solely, which meant £6 weekly every 4 weeks. He only earned one additional pound from this additional payment, and with that salary he managed to support his siblings, giving them a decent place to stay and allowing them to eat meat 2 to 3 times a week. Every year they could get a few new clothes. Damn. £5 is so much, dude. Are you outing me? Klein deliberately returned with a question. Benson chuckled. I doubt you have the ability nor the guts to rob a bank. You aren't someone who can lie. Oof, Melissa answered seriously after lowering her fork and knife. I'm not someone used to lying, Klein immediately felt a little ashamed. Although it was a result of circumstances of his reality, his sister's belief in him left his melancholic. It was relatively urgent and important today. It also played a crucial role, which is the reason for the £5, Klein explained. In a way, he said was the truth. True. As for divination that he will be impursed with, the one he will use to join the mission club, he planned on concealing it. Firstly, if he brought £5 home again, he would truly scare his siblings, making them suspect he was doing something illegal. Secondly, he had to save to buy additional materials to practice being a seer, and to grasp more mysticism knowledge. Benson bit off a mouthful of wheat bread in satisfaction and thought for more than 10 seconds. The work I'm at doesn't need any decent clothes. Well, to be precise, the clothes at home are sufficient. Without waiting for Klein to pursue him, he suggested, with this additional income, we will truly have savings. I plan on buying a new accountancy and I have new books on accountancy and studying. Klein and Melissa do not wish that my weekly salary remain below £2 in 5 years. Heh, as you know, my boss and manager have shit for brains. Their amounts stink the moment they open them. That's crazy. Heavenly Envoy, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is Heavenly Envoy? Yes, my favorite viewer. Holy shit. I missed you, man. Where were you last stream? Jeez. Anyway, without waiting for Excellent idea, agreed Klein. I also took the opportunity to steer the conversation. Why don't you read some of the grammar books in my room to be truly dignified and to earn a handsome pay? That's something rather critical. Perhaps, in the time to come, the civil servant examinations will appear in Lowen Kingdom. Preparing ahead of time will keep an advantage. Wow, smart! Holy shit! Really smart. By the way, I will have the biggest respect for Heavenly Envoy if he does this for 10 years straight, right? He's literally a celebrity, man. Benson I sit up when he heard that. Indeed, forgotten about that. Here, let's toast a beautiful future. By the way, Heavenly Envoy is gonna be as famous as Michael Jackson in the Lord of Mysteries community. I'm just saying. He did not drink ripe bread, instead he poured clear oyster soup into 3 cups and clicked his cup with his siblings. After drinking his clear soup, he looked at his sister who was wrestling with the pan-fried fish. She chuckled and said, aside from Penzance books, I think Melissa needs a new dress too. Melissa looked up and shook her head insistently. No, I think it's best to save it up. To try and finish the sentence for her. Yeah, Melissa nodded in agreement. In fact, if you do not seek the best fabrics and the newest design, it will not be too expensive. We can save up the remaining money, said Klein, in a manner which did not allow for disagreement. Benson added, Melissa, are you planning on wearing the old dress again to Selena's 16th birthday bash? Selena Wood. Selena mentioned, let's go. Selena Wood was Melissa's classmate and good friend. She came from a quite good family background. Her elder brother was practicing solicitor, and her father was a senior employee of Background's Bank of Dingen branch. Oh, they're rich. They're like upper middle class. I however, the so-called pass was only dinner invitation to friends. They were shattered and played cards. Okay. Alright, Melissa lowered her head and mumbled a response. Then she ruthlessly forked a piece of stewed beef. Cute. After a short silence, she suddenly recalled something and looked up abruptly. Mr. Shawd from next door got her maidservant to send a calling card. Mr. Shawd from next door got a maidservant to send a calling card over. She wishes to make a formal visit on Sunday at 4 in the afternoon tomorrow. She wants to get to know her new neighbors. Mr. Shawd? Klein looked at his siblings confounded. Benson rapped the side of the table with his fingers and appeared to be thinking. Mr. Shawd from 4th Daffodil Street. I met her husband before. He's a senior solicitor. Senior solicitor? Perhaps he knows Selena's brother, said Melissa with some hints of delight. You are 2 Daffodil Street, Klein nodded slightly. It's imperative that we get to know our neighbors, but as you know, I still have to be at the company on Sunday. You only had enough on Monday. Please pass my apologies to Mrs. Shawd. With that said, he suddenly recalled the neighbors of his former life when he was young. Aww. As well as the neighbors in the apartment from Iron Cross Street. He was amused as he sighed lightly. To have formal visits, shouldn't the neighbors get to know each other through natural interaction? Haha, Klein, that's because you aren't aware. You have read a lot of newspapers recently, but you have not approached the magazines catered towards families and middle-aged women. They place families with an annual income of 100 to 1,000 pounds as middle class. Ooh, they promoted it as the framework of an entire kingdom, and praised how the middle class doesn't have the arrogance of the aristocrats and the wealthy, nor as they crass as the low-income brackets. Benson lightly and happily explained, these magazines impart many simplified ceremonies, which the aristocrats practice in their interactions. As such, it becomes the target of the middle class. Thus, it is result in the difference between inmate calls, semi-formal calls, and formal calls. As he spoke, he shook his head and chuckled. Typically, gentlemen, madams, and ladies who view themselves in this class will be very particular about details. They will visit their neighbors and friends from 2 to 6 in the afternoon. It's known as morning call. Oh, I know about morning call. Damn. Description of calling cards and morning calls are a factor carding socializing in Victorian era. Yeah, I know morning calls. Interesting. First thing I know. First footnote I know. What are we guys talking about? Is Heavenly Envoy talking in the chat? Guys, Heavenly Envoy is living in your guys' head rent free. I swear. To have formal visits, shouldn't neighbors get to know each other through natural interaction? Wait, I read that. Morning call, Klein and Melissa asked in surprise. Why was a visit from 2 to 6 in the afternoon a morning call? True. Benson put down his fork and knife, drew his hands up and smiled. Benson is like, I don't know. I do not know either. All I did was read the magazines my female colleague brought. Yeah, perhaps it's because they wear their morning crowns to make the call. I guess so. He lives in every thought. Yeah, true. Morning crowns were formal attire worn by during mass or gatherings. Later, it was considered as a formal attire for the day, different from the formal attire for evening functions. Okay, interesting. Alright, remember to buy some good coffee powder and tea leaves in the afternoon. Buy some muffins and lemonade tarts for Mrs. Marin. You must not ill-treat our neighbors. Klein chuckled as he dipped his remaining foot in the meat sauces, grabbed some potato and put it in his mouth. By the way, we're closing on Monday. Holy shit. The next morning was Sunday morning. Klein finished the last mouthful of inferior tea, put down the newspaper and wore his half-top hat. Picking up his silver inlay plaque, he sauntered out of door and took a public carriage to Sutherland Street. He greeted Roseanne, who was planning to sleep in the break room, of course, after after finishing her night duty, after which he went all the way down the basement. After turning a corner, he met a Nighthawk member. Royale! What's on Monday? What's on Monday? Tarot Club meeting. Sleepless Royal Redine. She looked up cold lady. Her brows were long and slender. She looked like a cold lady. Her brows were long and slender, sitting atop large eyes. Her hair was silky smooth black. Good morning, Madame Redine, Klein greeted with a smile. Royal used her deep blue eyes to glance at him and nodded indiscriminately in return. He wields Indians like mask, the heavenly envoy of hatred, the sworn enemy of a book called Lord of the Mysteries. Damn. The two quickly passed by each other when Royal stopped and said with their eyes strained forward, "Ritualistic magic is a very dangerous thing." Online was taken aback by the time he turned around. All he saw was her departing back. "Thank you." He frowned and showed it to Royal and Raiden's back. So, Raideen, sorry. Royal is mysterious a little bit, right? After taking a left band, he quickly met old Neil inside the armory, as well as Brett, who should not have been there. "Let's go to my place. I already received the corresponding materials. Brett had agreed to watch the armory for me," said old Neil with a chuckle. Klein was immediately surprised. "We aren't doing it here?" Old Neil held a silver chest and tutted. "There's no space here to practice ritualistic magic." They did not ask further. He followed Old Neil up to the streets and took a public carriage to the Northborough suburbs. Old Neil's place was a bungalow. Old Neil's house! Already! Wow! Old Neil's house was a bungalow. The garden in front of it was filled with roses, gold mint, and other materials. The moment he entered, there was a carpeted foyer. There were two high black chairs and a umbrella rack. Through the foyer was an expensive living room. The walls were plastered with light-colored wallpaper. The floors were dark brown. In the middle of the room was a tiny carpet. The floral implants with faced above. It was heavy round table. Surrounding the table were comfortable long benches, single seaters, and the piano. "My deceased wife loved music." Old Neil pointed at the piano and mentioned in passing, "The sofa and coffee table are in bedrooms. This would reach its messing in the living room." "Alright," Klein replied cautiously. After Old Neil put down the silver chest, he laughed and said, "Let me demonstrate your ritualistic magic. Make sure to observe and remember the ritual." Notice, by the way, every single time when Old Neil mentions his wife, the next time he like laughs and plays it off as a joke, or like he's just coping, I guess. I think he's coping. As he spoke, he took out a fake coatskin parchment from the chest. It was specially made and had a strange picture drawn on it, with black ink that executed a serene fragrance. Klein kept watching and finally discovered that Old Neil was seemingly, possibly drawing an IOU. IOU is a like a tutorial thing, right? I mean, what would you do when your wife died? Kangi? Holy shit! What the fuck is a Gangi? When Old Neil filed in the corresponding field with the number 30 and the corresponding pound symbol, Klein could not help but ask of the puzzlement and confusion. "Mr. Neil, what kind of ritualistic magic are you doing?" Old Neil coughed and answered very seriously, "I'll be using the magic that 30 pounds today." "You can do that?" Klein's eyes widened as his mouth gaped. Damn. So, Old Neil's house visit was earlier than it was in the donghua. I'm surprised he didn't mention about the piano, right? Old Neil has hidden his grief behind his laughs. Yeah, actually sad, man. Aww. I love Old Neil. I'm so sad. The crowned and ritualistic magic. Sheesh. I'm really loving this, man. Like, already we are still reading volume 1, we are already at chapter 50. I'm just thinking when we reach volume 2 and volumes I haven't read, we are going to have so much fucking fun, you know what I mean? 30 pounds, here we come! I didn't get the reference. Okay. I don't know, Kilby. I don't fucking know. The goddess is opening her emails in the morning. Oh, another one. Oh. 51. The grounded ritualistic magic. Using magic to tell an IOU. Is he trying to curse his debtor to death or create counterfeit notes? Might not have the solution to the problem, but I can finish you instead. I might not have a solution to the problem, but I can finish you instead. Ah, moment. What's an IOU? It's like I can show you. It's hard to explain, dude. I know what it is. Not Islamic. Oh. IOU paper. IOU. Okay. Okay. It's an IOU paper. I see. It's basically an informal document acknowledging debt. Yeah. It's like saying, oh, I owe you, bruh. Right? Oh. She's trying to curse his debtor to death. Yeah, all sorts of thoughts appeared in Klein's mind as he looked at old Niels oddly. He seriously considered the possibility of calling the cops, now of informing the Nighthawks. Old Neil shot a glance at him and said, peeved, I can see ignorance, foolishness, and old... Wait, what? Old Neil shot a glance at him, said, peeved. What's a peeved? What does it mean to be peeved? I can see ignorance, foolishness, and the weak and shameless disbelief in your eyes. Didn't Don tell you the maxim of the mystery priors? Do as you wish, but do no harm. Jeez. Although the maxim originated from the secret and the evil of Moses' ascetic order organization, beyonders who choose the path of Moses' ascetic order have proven that it is right through their own experiences, as long as one strictly abides to it and shows the needed fear and reverence. The risk of losing control will be minimized. The contrary has similarly been established. Your suspicion towards me is an insult to mystery priors. Sorry, I did not hesitate to apologize. He had indeed forgotten that Don Smith had once mentioned the maxim. Old Neil was not truly angry. In a blink of an eye, he chuckled. A pity. A very few of me understood his years. There is no corresponding maxim to help you. Jeez, really? Bewildered. Oh, okay. But I have Emperor Saul's diaries. Yes, strictly abiding to the maxim as a hint of acting, and suddenly came to his thought as he nodded as in deep thought. Yeah, exactly. Only did not continue. He removed the vases and other items from the round table and placed them in a corner. Immediately following that, he took out a both crimson, red, and black candle from the silver chest. He explained, if ordinary people attempt realistic magic, they have to follow the result from astromancy or read corresponding manuals. They have to choose suitable dates from dates and times. For example, a day representing the goddess, the period when she rules over the moon. But for us Beyonders, especially Beyonders good in this domain, there's no need for that. Our acute spiritual perception and potent astral projections are key. Of course, if you're not confident about the ritualistic magic you are attempting, it's best to choose a suitable date and time. It can increase the probability of success. Interesting. I forgot to voice act you. Alright, this is based on a premise. Remember carefully to abide strictly by the rules. O'Neill placed 2 candles and turned to the side and looked at Klein, saying very solemnly, Low sequence beyonders are not strong enough. Almost all the ritualistic magic they can perform are seeking of external powers and help. Therefore, you can only consider orthodox divinities like the goddess or the lord of storms. Absolutely. Absolutely do not attempt to communicate with unknown or unpredictable existences, even if people believe in them, or the promises recorded are filled with enticements. Enticements. Okay, so all that's ironic. Old Neil. That's ironic. I'm guessing he's kinda in denial about it, right? He is teaching Klein what not to do. And probably old Neil knows he should not do this as well. Believe me, I don't take any chances. As long as you attempt once, you will go down a slippery slope under the abyss with no return. Any work or resistance will only slow it down with no way to change the trajectory. I'll remember, Klein said in a deep voice, however, he felt a little afraid. Unlike enchantment rituals apparently sought power from the unknown and unpredictable existence. Exactly. Furthermore, I have gained powers capable of pulling. Oh my god! I just thought of a theory. Okay, so the only thing we have to the real world here, in Lord of Mysteries, is Roselle. What if, let's say, there's a theory among common people in the world that Roselle became a god and didn't die? What if Roselle became a god and then used his powers to transmigrate Shaw from Earth, because he's also from Earth, to the Lord of Mysteries world? And there's like a cycle. It's like a cycle of you being transmigrated, you becoming a god, and you transmigrate someone else, and then you become that guiding force, and it repeats every time. Let's say before Roselle transmigrating, there was someone else before Roselle who transmigrated. He became like a godlike figure. He transmigrated Roselle. Roselle was transmigrated. Roselle became a godlike figure. Roselle transmigrated Klein. Now Klein is gonna become a godlike figure and transmigrate someone else, right? Maybe that's what it is. And maybe Koi as a sequel, well, because I know that Koi exists, maybe there Klein will be the higher power and be controlling of the Grey Fog and help a new transmigrator. Oh my god, I'm gonna write that down. Actually, I like that theory, dude. So wait, oh, the argument about the Lunk enchantment, that made me think about it. Damn, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna remember that. Wait, let me write it down about cycle of reincarnation where there was someone else before Roselle, and then Roselle becomes godlike figure and transmigrates Klein. Then in the future, when Klein is a godlike figure, he's gonna transmigrate someone else. Okay. Sheesh. That was really, I think, good. I'm self-glazing. Theory. The Grey Fog and transmigration is okay. Damn. Okay. However, he felt a little afraid. My luck enchantment rituals apparently sought power from an unknown and unpredictable existence. Furthermore, I have gained powers capable of pulling people into the fog that even a senior beyonder like the Hanged Man finds unbelievable. Well, at least I think he's a senior beyonder. I think at this point, Olger is Sequence 7 Seafarer, right? Thankfully, I haven't gone mad or have any signs of losing control. While worrying over this, he proactively changed the subject. So Nighthawk should seek the help of the goddess. No one will stop you if you pray the Lord of Storms. However, you're unable to tell from our ritualistic magic whether he replies with malicious intent or not. The outcome will be distorted in unproceedable ways. All Neil successfully made Klein give up the idea in a choking manner. There was so-called best only necessary. There was no so-called pest, only necessary. Olger Unk, he's like 40. How old are you, Gilby? Let's judge your age. Honestly, how old are you? Let me know. After his exhortations, Olnil picked up a crimson red candle and said, by using candles, picked up a crimson red candle and said, by using candles made of moonflowers and dark red sandalwood, it will represent the goddess identity as Lady of Crimson of the ritualistic magic. He pointed to the black candles and said, candles made of light, vanilla, and slumber. Flowers represent the night. As he spoke, he placed the black candle on top of the left end of the round table, while the red candle was placed on the right hand. Why do we symbolize the goddess with only 2 candles? She is also the mother of concealment, empress of misfortune and horror, and mistress of repose and silence. Empress of misfortune and horror is very fucking cold. Oh my god. You're 15? You're in fucking 7th grade, little bro. Where do we emphasize the goddess? Yeah. Also, Empress of Misfortune and Horror does go hard. O'Neill chuckled. That's right, it's something I wished you asked. Before their fall, the Moses ascetic order had very good relationship with the church. Their beliefs and results on ritualistic magic have heavily influenced us. They believe that all objects are numeric. Every number has spirituality, and in ritualistic magic, 0 represents the unknown or chaos. It symbolizes the state of the universe before it was born. 1 represents the beginning, the first creator. 2 represents the. It is important, guys. Every number. So let me lock in for a second. Every number has a spirituality, and the ritual magic. 0 represents the unknown of chaos. Symbolizes the state of the universe before it was born. Okay, 1 represents the beginning, the first creator. 2 represents the world and various divinities ever produced from his body. 3 represents contact between divinities and material objects to create all things. Here, using 2 candles represents the goddess, while the 3rd candle is for you. Ah, okay. I remember this from Money News, I think. Which two candles and which 2 symbols do have depend on the intended effects of the ritualistic magic? 3 packets, all things. This is Taoism, saying Tao packets 1, 1 packets 2, 2 packets 3, 3 packets all things. Okay, so it's like a reference to that, I guess. And Klein knows about that. All things stem from 3. Klein could not help but recall certain things from his previous life. Interesting. Coincidence? Seeing Klein listening attentively, old Neil took a 3rd candle and said, this is the candle representing me. A very ordinary candle which only has a little bit of mint left. Aww. Take note that plants like roses, lemons, mint, moonflower, night vanilla, and slumber flower are beloved and cherished by the goddess. Viewing it from another angle, the 3 candles represent the body, spiritualities, and god of every person. After finishing the description, O'Neill placed the 3rd candle in the middle of the round table. He then took out a bottle of concocted full moon essence oil, a huge cauldron engraved with a dark sacred emblem, a silver knife with gorgeous patterns, a cup of water and saucer of coarse salt. To be honest, we're not good at ritual magic. There's a need for bells, crystals, bowls, silver cups, incense, or other supplementary items. However, mystery buyers and seers have no need for that. These artifacts are already sufficient. Oh, interesting, okay. Also, I'm not voice acting right now because my voice hurts. And also, I'm locked in because it's important dialogue. Old Neil placed the fake goatskin parchment with the IOU just below the cauldron and used a special kill. Ooh, a kill. To hold down one corner. He turned to Klein and said, ritualistic magic needs a clean spiritual environment where you will not be disturbed, and that requires us to create it. The steps are to first enter cogitation. Focus your mind, and with the supplementary items, draw out your strength and construct it around us. For example, Ray Bieber's house had used holy night powder, while I'll be using a ritual silver dagger. Okay. Throughout the entire process, we have to go through we have to go according to the outcome desired to confirm the symbolism and corresponding incantations. Incantations are best done in Hermes because ancient Hermes stemmed from nature. It's akin to ancient Dragonese, and ancient Elvish. The effects are very direct, lacking the necessary concealment and protection. It's easy to cause the caster to fall into danger. This is why it's been modified. Yeah, makes sense. However, it's more effective. I've been streaming for 7 hours, yeah. You're the second 15-year-old Lord of the Mysteries reader I know. Is the first one Nighthawk Luxion? I'm wondering. Most of the Mysteries readers are old, or some of them even ancient. Dude, that's crazy. Alright, Klein took 2 steps back and trained his eyes on Old Neil. Old Neil's eyes rapidly darkened as invisible wind around him spun. He was silent for a moment, doing from left to right. Wait, sorry. Alright, I have to focus on your magic. I won't explain things to you any further. Pay attention by watching and listening. Remember any problems and ask me if everything is done. Alright, Klein took 2 steps back and trained his eyes on Old Neil. Old Neil's eyes rapidly darkened as invisible wind around him spun. He was silent for a moment, going from left to right and up to down, using his psyche to cause friction and consecutively light up 3 candles. Oh wow. Following that, he picked up the silver knife and stabbed it into the coarse salt, then chanted in Hermes. I sanctify you, blade of pure silver. I cleanse and purify you, allowing you to observe me in this ritual. In the flames of Evernight Goddess, the Lady of Crimson, you have been sanctified. Let's look it up what it means. Sanctified means made or decreed holy, sacred or blessed. Okay. I see. After a short but powerful syllable, Old Neil drew a silver knife and inserted it into a cup of clear water. Then he raised it and pointed it to the space beyond the round table. He aimed the blade tip in the periphery and took a step forward, circling the round table. Every step he took made Klein with an invincible energy spewed of the silver knife. It was filled with spirituality as it connected with the air, forming a completely sealed wall. After walking one round, the altar was completely isolated from its surroundings. Old Neil stood in front of the round table and put the silver knife down. He picked up the bottle of full moon essence oil and dropped 3 drops on the black, dark red, and alternately candles. Sizzle. A thin mist emitted as everything seemed to become verified in mystery. Ooh, mystery. Old Neil put down the glass bottle and looked at the fake cold skin parchment silently for 2 minutes. Then he picked up the quill and drew a mark he controlled, a square that formed all the content, indicating that he was in control of the depth. Following that, he drew another cross, indicating that it was cancelled. Upon reaching the step, he picked up the parchment with one hand and tapped his glabella with other to activate his spirit vision. Another invincible and exuberant energy bloomed as Old Neil whispered in a chant. I pray for the power of the Dark Knight. I pray for the power of Crimson. I pray for the goddess of loving grace. Please remind me with the funds to pay this IOU. Night Vanilla, an herb that belongs to the Red Moon. Please bestow your powers to my incantation. Moonflower, an herb that belongs to the Red Moon. A herb that belongs to the Red Moon. Please bestow me your powers to my incantation. Klein was completely flabbergasted, listening from the side. All sorts of thoughts arose him. Such an incantation can work. Although it was recited from Hidden Hermes, isn't this the way to simple and down to earth? Won't the goddess be angry and multiply the depth several fold? Imagine, by the way. Damn. Praise the lady. At that moment, the candle light lit up suddenly. After Old Neil finished his incantation, he closed his eyes for 2 minutes. He picked up the full moon essence oil and dripped 1 drop onto each of the 3 candles. Immediately following that, he grabbed the parchment and pulled it close to the candle, representing me. When it ignited, he immediately threw it onto the cauldron. Old Neil closed his eyes again as he seemed to sense the burning of the IOU. He opened his eyes after a moment and looked toward the black sacred emblem on the cauldron. The parchment was already completely incinerated. Praise the lady. O'Neill tapped his chest, 4 spots forming the shape of the crimson moon. Then he extinguished the candles in the opposite order as he lit them. After finishing everything, he used a silver knife to rip apart the invincible wall around him. It's invisible! Why have I been reading invisible as invincible, man? Oh my god, and nobody told me. Holy shit. Sorry, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. A huge wind stirred immediately as O'Neill heaved a sigh of relief. It's done. That's it, Klein asked in a daze. Has the IOU been settled? How? I don't know either. Anyways, it'll be settled in a reasonable manner, said O'Neill with a simple smile as he drew up his hands. This, like this, reasonable manner. Klein was unsure what expression or words to use as a response. Isn't it a little unreliable? This is considered her paying her followers steps, basically, but like, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm guessing that it can't be abused. You know what I mean? Next one, Spectator. Okay, I wanna watch this. I'm gonna get some water quickly. Be right back. I promised to 55, so let's do that. But I'm starving. I've been live for 8 hours nearly. I mean, the first 3 hours I was streaming something else on Twitch. It kind of sounds like Karen has her own money and gives it to her followers. What are you talking about? Earlier conversation? I guess I'm not gonna butt my head into this. Anyway, Spectator. Oh my god, is it Monday yet? I can't wait. Stop thinking about the bloody IOU. Anyway, so thinking about the bloody IOU, let's discuss the ritualistic magic. O'Neill put away the candles, cauldron, silver knife, and other items with our relaxed expression. By the way, no more voice acting today until the next stream because I hear my voice getting hurt. By the way, a full work day. Yeah, a full work today, dude. Oh my god, 8 hours. Jeez. Klein really wanted to shrug his shoulders like the Americans in his previous life. What do you mean? When Chinese people don't shrug their shoulders? Ultimately, could not bring himself to do something that ungentlemanly. Americans getting shade. He turned his focus toward the ritualistic magic and threw out detailed questions that puzzled him. Receiving answers from them, for example, the incantations had a particular format. As long as they were satisfied and the key meaning was expressed in Hermes, the rest could be left to one's creativity. Of course, blasphemy or disrespectful descriptions were absolutely forbidden. The mysticism class lasted until noon before O'Neill coughed twice. We have to return to Sutherland Street. With that said, he crumbled in an instinct manner to get these bloody materials. I missed my beloved breakfast. Klein looked around both amused and puzzled. Mr. Neal, do you have a chef or a maidservant in charge of cooking? A weekly salary of 12 pounds would hire several servants. Yeah, that's crazy. Exactly, Gilby, that's funny. Going the newspapers with board of lodging provided hiring an ordinary chef cost anywhere between 12 to 15 soldi a week. Only? They did not even need a pound. That means maidservant to do miscellaneous chores was even cheaper. Their weekly salaries ranked between 3 soldi, 6 pence and 6 soldi. Damn. Of course, one could not bear any hope of them having any culinary skills. True. That's not right. With Mr. Neal's step to 30 pounds, it's not normal that he doesn't hire any chefs or servants. It seems I asked another question I should not have asked. While Klein regretted his decision, O'Neill shook his head without minding it. I often attempt ritualistic magic, research extraordinary items, and read corresponding documents at home. So I don't know, is it possible that I hire ordinary people as chefs, valet, or maidservants? What are valets or maidservants? I only hire someone to clean up the place regularly. And if they are not ordinary people, do you think they are willing to do such jobs? True. I seem to have asked a silly question. It's possibly because I will not do anything that involves mysticism at home, explained Klein in a self-deprecating manner. O'Neill had long stood up for his round felt hat and while walking out of the door rambled on. So no one knows what a velt is, or valet, sorry. We have to Google it ourselves. A man's personal male attendant who is responsible for his clothes and appearance. What the fuck? It's a thing? That's crazy. Anyway, old Neil had long stood up for his round felt hat while walking out the door, rambled on. I seemed to smell pan-fried foie gras. No, not foie gras. If you know what foie gras is, it's so inhumane. Foie gras should be banned. Once the IO completely settled, I definitely have one set. For lunch, I definitely eat roasted pork glazed with apple juices. No, that's not enough. I must have sausage infused with mashed potatoes. That's crazy. I turned 18 this year. Why is everyone so young? Any 24-year-olds? 25 in like a month. You're making me hungry. Klein swallowed the saliva as he caught up to old Neil and headed for the nearby public carriage stop. After returning to Suitland Street, old Neil suddenly grunted after stepping down the carriage. What do I see? Goddess, what am I seeing? Suddenly as nimble as a 17 or 18-year-old lad. He quickly came to the roadside and picked up an item. Klein leaned over close out of curiosity and looked carefully. He realized it was a wallet with fine workmanship. With his lack of experience, he could barely tell if the dark brown wallet was made of buffalo skin or sheepskin, but he noticed a small light blue logo embroidered on the side of the wallet, a white dove spreading its wing as it's ready to take off. 21, 20s. 20s can mean 29, true. Almost 22. Damn. I might be the oldest here right now. The client's first impression, the second thing he noticed was the lack of paper notes in the bulging wallet. There were more than 20 grey notes printed with black ink, called pounds. Old Neil opened up the wallet and pulled out the notes. When he looked at it carefully, it immediately chuckled. 10-pound notes. The Honourable Founder and Protector, William First. Wow, goddess. There are a total of 30 notes there. Also a few 5-pound notes, only £1 and 5 solid notes. More than 300 pounds. Holy shit. It's a huge amount of money in every meaning of the word. I might not even earn that much in 10 years. That's aristocrat's wallet, right? I also read all the chapters. We read all the mysteries in 6 weeks. Holy shit, dude. What the hell? The amount of gold pounds was immense. Picking up such a wallet was equivalent of being a briefcase of banknotes in his previous life. True. Such a wallet was clearly not a woman's. That's crazy. Wonder which gentleman dropped it. He can't be someone ordinary, analyzed Clark calmly. Such a wallet was clearly not a woman's. There's no need to care who he is, said old Neil with a chuckle. It's not like he attempted to divine and take money that doesn't belong to us. We should wait here for a moment. I believe the gentleman will soon be back searching for it. It's not something that can be given up no matter who it is. Klein heaved a sigh of relief. He had brand new understanding of old Neil's morals. He was worried that he would have used his goddess bestowment as an excuse and paid off his debts. He was still wondering how to prevent it and persuade him otherwise. Is this how do as you wish, but you no harm? Klein suddenly learned something new. True. The duo did not wait more than 20 minutes by the streets with a luxurious wall-wheeled carriage zoomed over. Its side had a light blue logo with a dove spreading its wings. The carriage stopped and a middle-aged man dressed in a black formal suit with a bow tie and the same color alighted. He looked at the wallet, took off his hat and said politely, "Sirs, it should be my master's wallet. Your logo approved everything, but I need to make additional verifications. This is to be responsible for all parties. Might I ask how much money is there in the wallet?" replied Old Neil politely. The middle-aged man was taken aback as he said in a self-deprecating manner, almost immediately as a butler. "I do not know how much money Master had in his wallet. Sorry, please permit me to ask." "As you wish," Old Neil gestured for him to do as he pleased. The middle-aged man walked to the carriage side and through the window conversed with the person within. He approached Klein and old Neil again and smiled. "More than 300 pounds, but less than 350. Master does not remember the exact number." "Does not remember? That's really some wealthy rich guy. True. If I had that much money on me, I would definitely be counting again and again." Klein was filled with envy. Exactly. Old Neil nodded and handed the wallet back. "With the goddess proof, this belongs to you." The middle-aged man took the wallet over and did an estimate before pulling out 3 10-pound notes. "Master is Sir Deweyville. He wishes to commend your morals. This is what an honest person should receive. Please do not reject it." "Sir Deweyville?" One who established Dewey will trust the Sir Dewey will who provided cheap rental apartments of the working class. Oh, I immediately remembered the name. He was knight that is brought. It's kind of based, right? This guy's kind of based. He made remember the name. He was knight that his brother respected but did not believe was grounded in reality. Thank you, Sir Deweyville. He is a kind and generous gentleman. O'Neill did not stand on ceremony as he received the 3 notes. After watching Sir Deweyville carriage depart, he turned to look at Klein. When he saw there was no one around, he flicked the notes and chuckled. £30. The IU is settled. I said it was settled in a reasonable manner. This is the power of magic, he said. Deweyville is your rod. I mean, Deweyville was mentioned earlier, but yeah, businessman, but kind of cool. Kindest knight. His title was. It was a knight that is no, just a knight. This is what I respected. Deweyville believes in which god or goddess? I don't know. Let's say. Yeah, there's 3. In Loan, there's 3 chances, right? 3 main religions. Or maybe he believes in an unorthodox god and he's a sassy baka. But I don't think so. Holy fucking power of magic. That actually works. Klein was once again flabbergasted. A few minutes later, he entered the... I love when Klein swears. It's so cute. A few minutes later, he entered the building stairwell, and while heading to the security company, he asked positively, Mr. Neal, why didn't you ask for more money? Do not be greedy. One must take care not to be greedy when doing ritualistic magic. Temperance is a critical trait needed by every mystery buyer. If they wish to live long, explained O'Neill happily. In a huge ballroom, candles were burning on a few chandeliers, emitting a fragrance that soothed the minds of people. By the sheer number of candles, they produced a light in no way inferior to that of cast lamps. Wow. This is Audrey, right? No, fuck, it's the restaurant. God damn it. I wanna go back to Audrey so bad, dude. Damn. I wanna see Susie. With huge ballroom. This is Audrey. In a huge ballroom, candles were burning on a few chandeliers, emitting a fragrance that soothed the minds of people. To the mirror of candles, they produced a light in no way inferior to gas lamps. There were long tables, the pan-fried foie gras, grilled steaks, roasted chicken, fried dongfish, desi oysters, mutton stew, cream soup, and other delicacies. In addition, there were bottles of mist champagne, Armir grape wine, and Southfield red wine. They were all glistening with a templing glow under the light. Servants in red vests carried trays with crystal cups and huddled between the gentlemen and ladies dressed both elegantly and gorgeously. I can't wait! Audrey Hall was wearing a collared, high-waisted, pale white dress with the encacantes. Her corset was tightly fitted, while her voluminous layers were puffed up with perfectly with a cage crinoline. Her long blonde hair was coiled up in an elegant bun, and earrings, necklace, and rings she wore sparkled brightly. At her feet were a pair of white dancing shoes that were stitched with roses and diamonds. How many petticoats am I wearing? 5, 6? Wearing white silk gloves, Audrey caressed her crinoline gently with her right hand. Ooh, that's crazy. Her left hand was holding a glass of clear champagne. Isn't she 17? I mean, doesn't matter. Audrey was, as in like alcohol, maybe it's 16 or something. Audrey was nothing like her usual self, usually placing herself center stage of banquets and making her focus on attention. Instead, she avoided the bustle and quietly stood in the shadows of hanging curtains by the French windows. By the French windows, well, that's interesting. There's no French in this world, but it's translation, I think. It's translation, right? French windows. She took a sip of champagne and watched the crowd as though she did not belong. I'm so interested in this, dude. Earl Wolf's youngest son is chatting with Viscount Conrad's daughter. He likes to move his forearm to reinforce what he says. The bigger the movement of his forearm, the more unbelievable his words. That is something gleaned from experience. He can't stop trying to elevate himself by putting other people down. However, he can't help but feel guilty. It can seem by the way he talks and his body. Look at my fucking girl, by the way. She is studying. She's acting as a spectator. I love Audrey, man. Keep it up. Duchess Stella was repeated. Oh, I love the gossip. Duchess Stella was repeatedly covered her mouth while laughing with her left hand today. Ah, I see. She is showing off her pure ocean blue sapphire. Her husband, Duke Negan, is discussing the current situation with a few conservative nobles. As the backend began, he was searched for Duchess Stella once. They almost never make eye contact. Maybe they aren't as in love as they pretend to be. Baron Larry has made Madame Barnes laugh 7 times. That's very normal, nothing strange about it. But why does she look at her husband with guilty eyes? Oh, they have gone their separate ways. That's not right. Directions they are headed leads to the garden. Ooh, in the extravagant banquet, Audrey saw many details she never noticed in the past. There was an instant where she nearly believed that she was watching an opera. Damn! Everyone is a good opera actor, she sighed silently as her eyes remained limpid. At that moment, she suddenly sensed something and turned her head. She cast her gaze into the dark corner in the large balcony outside. In the shadows was a huge golden retriever. Sitting there silently. She was looking inside at Audrey. While her body was hidden in the darkness. Susie! The corners of Audrey's mouth twitched as her expression instantly changed. She could no longer maintain her state as a spectator. That's so cool, man. Audrey is just looking at everyone and gossiping, like getting all the gossip. Unpopular opinion, I didn't like Audrey POV where it is noble just existing and Audrey watching. Whatever, I like it. Also, this Susie scene made me think of this emoji, by the way. This one. Do you guys see it? This sticker is in my Discord server. Join my Discord server, guys. Nobody has joined for some reason. Join it. Oh, people have actually. Never mind. It's pinned, I think. Susie, God Almighty, exactly. Listener, I'm gonna put some fries in the bag. No, I'm gonna put some fries in the air fryer. I'm gonna be right back in like 30 seconds, guys. Susie, observe. Back. Guys, so the deal is, we're gonna read one more. My voice is really hurting. And we're gonna come back on Tuesday or Wednesday with like 10 more chapters. So listener is this one. Ancient three-masted sailboat was Alger was navigating through a tumultuous storm in the sea. It's not as fast as this place was lacking, with the feather and the sea looking like a cataclysmic scene. The sailboat was like a withered leaf separated from its tree. However, regardless of how typhoons rampaged, how terrifying the waves were, it continued sailing peacefully without any signs of tilting. Olger stood on the empty deck as he looked at the massive waves that resembled mountains. His thoughts were a mystery. We're not going to listen to his thoughts? Oh my god. Also, Olger is just standing there menacingly. It's going to be Monday again. It's going to be Monday again. But, fuck. Anyway, it was one day belonging to the Earth Mother, the beginning of the series of waxing and waning. Oh, so the day is dedicated to the Earth Mother, I see. However, it meant something different to Olger. It belonged to a mysterious existence forever enveloped in greyish white fog. At least I haven't been reduced to a madman. He stopped, looking around as he gave a self-deprecating chuckle. At this moment, one of the only few sailors he had leaned on and asked reverently, my lord, where are we setting course for this time? It's the same blonde guy, right? Olger survived the surroundings and said in a calm voice, Pursue the listener from the Aurora Order. Oh, wait a second. The Aurora Order in the Sonia Sea? Okay, interesting. Listener. More about the Aurora Order. I can't wait. The storm subsidized as mist emanted on a strange sailboat with the cannons on board. An 8 or 9-year-old boy with a soft yellow hair was looking at pirates around him in fear. They were disorderly. Some enjoyed barrels of beer, some swung around with ropes, others mocked each other, and some even fought with their fists. I see. He turned to look at the black-robed man standing in the shadows. He suppressed his voice and asked, "Father, where are we going?" 8 days ago was his first time seeing his father, a father who proclaimed to be an adventurer. Interesting. If not for the oil painting his late mother left him, that confirmed his father's identity, and the fact that the orphanage had opened its doors to him, he was absolutely unwilling to leave his hometown and follow his only kin, was also nearly a stranger. 9-year-old? Oh my god. That's crazy. On a pirate ship. Man in the shadows lowered his head and looked at his son with an amiable expression. He answered, "Jack, I'm bringing you to a holy place, a holy residence where the Creator once lived. The kingdom of God, or the land of God maybe? The mortals can only enter by winning his grace." Jack had been well educated by his mother and knew this much. He was both surprised and fearful about the matter. Interesting. I'm loving this. Standing in the shadows, the man had an unforgivable jawline. Holy shit! Unforgettable jawline! He was smoking, as though he was sculpture chiseled by the best artisan. He placed his hand to his ear and made a listening pose. Wait. I'm gonna show you. He looks something like this, wait. This is an unforgettable jawline, guys. Do you think he looks like this? Jack on a ship? Jack Sparrow? Holy shit, it's Jack Sparrow, guys. Is it, if it is, it's a direct reference, right? I wonder if it's one of the admirals then. But he placed his hand to the rear and made a listening pose. He replied in a tone that sounded like a sleep-talking. Jack, models are a wrong concept. The Creator created this world and he's everywhere. He exists in every living being. Therefore, all beings have godhood. Basically saying like, oh, consciousness also has, like, consciousness is, I don't, like, yeah. I get what he means though. Therefore, all beings have godhood. I think what they mean is like consciousness. Once the godhood attains a particular level, they can become an angel. The 7 fake gods at present are only powerful angels. Oh, is Jack the listener? Maybe? He thinks the true creator is the true creator? Literally? Look, I can now hear the teachings of a creator. Ah, how extraordinary is this revelation. Life is only a tour of the spirit. When the spirit is sufficiently potent and resilient, we can find our godhood and fuse with even more godhoods. Jack is a kid of listen. Oh yeah, you're right. Jack is the kid. The listener is the guy with the jawline. You're right. Jack could not understand the compliment description. He shook his head and asked another question he previously did not have the chance to. Father, I heard from Mother that the Creator created this world, is split into all beings and does not exist. In actuality, then why does his holy residence exist? As a 7 to 8-year-old child, he was logical. The man with the chiseled face was taken aback. He turned his head away as though he was listening to more murmurings. Ooh, damn, scary. Suddenly he slumped down on knees on his deck. His exposed skin protruded black shards. He clenched his head with both hands as his expression warped, and he shouted in extreme pain, "They are lying!" Oh, that's crazy. Okay, this part, someone said special chapter in the chat. So I'm guessing Olger is gonna pursue this guy, kill him, and he is going to the land of God, or the land of forsaken God. And he has his kid with him called Jack. Apparently Jack is his son. Interesting. So we're learning more about the Aurora Order and the true creator through these panels or these chapters, not panels. It's not a manga. These chapters, and I want to go back, man. I want to go back. Fuck. Standing in the shadows, the man had. After lunch, having had old Neil promise him that he would bring him to the underground market the next time he went slowly and returned to the Blackthorn security company. He chose the two options of reading the documents in the staff office and practicing his ability to take the opportunity to go and act as a seer in the divination club before Captain Dunn stopped him. However, before he could make the decisions, he saw Dunn Smith walk in. He was dressed in a usual black trench coat and half top hat. Captain, any updates? Klein thought of the whereabouts of the Antigonus family notebook as he asked with concern. Without showing any signs of fatigue in his grey eyes, Dunn said, "The facts have corresponded with the Antigonus family notebook. Is in Ray Bieber's hands. However, he has vanished completely. I've already informed the various Nighthawks teams of this matter, through a telegram. Okay. They were requested to pay attention to the various piers and steam locomotive stations. The first batch of printed portraits was mailed out yesterday afternoon and will be printed in various major newspapers." Okay, I guess we're gonna see. We're gonna see the artifact U079 soon, right? How nice will it be if there were phones, fax machines, surveillance cameras, and big data. What a pity. I know how to use all of them, and even understand a little of the logic behind it, Klein exhaled silently. But regardless, we can consider ourselves as having found the notebook. And this is all thanks to you, of course. It still needs another round of confirmations. I've already sent a telegram to the background Theosis, requesting them to escort sale artifact 2049. I was so close. Here, it was once dangerous item of the Antigonus family. It can help us if Rai Bieber is a descendant of the Antigonus family. Damn, a great useful artifact, dangerous. They can be used with care and moderation. Klein had originally wanted to ask about the artifact, its special abilities, and the danger it posed out of curiosity, but he instantly recalled that he lacked the necessary clearance. He had no choice but to give up. Also, it's lack of receding hairline, though. Where, like, they haven't mentioned this hairline in a long time. I'm just saying, something's off. I'm joking. May goddess bless us. Klein tapped 4 spots on his chest from the sign of the full moon. Fool needs his own sign. What's a fool sign? Like L? F? What will be a fool sign, guys? What do you think? Don pushed open the door to his office and said with a side nod, "The goddess has always been protecting us, Klein. If you had not chosen Seer, you would be a formal member after this matter is verified. You could have chosen Sleepless, but pity. To be frank, I'm still puzzled over your choice. Although Corpse Collector is quite off-putting, you have seen Dali as well. You should know that Spirit Mediums vary in strength. As for Mystery Briars, they're good at choice too, but at the very least you have old Neil as a role model, so he will make sure the risk of losing control is minimized." With regards to this question, Klein had prepared for an answer from the beginning. He just never had the chance to use it since Don did not ask. He was only able to answer in passing. He organized his words and said, "My considerations from the fact that Sirius and Mystery Briars are considered beyonders with a support role. They do not need to always face enemies, but that's too dangerous, and both of you and old Neil said that in the domain of mystery, the beyonders' curiosity and experimentation usually brings about terrifying outcomes." Yeah, describing Mystery Briars as prying mysteries made me worried. So hey, as you know, I was only ordinary creature not long ago. Lack of guts is the only reason I made such a choice. Damn, Klein has a story for everything, dude. I have to say that this very reasonable answer that goes beyond my expectations. Don massaged his temples and chuckled. He turned Alfei as his grey eyes sized up Klein. "Continue going out for now. Do not limit yourself to the path leading from Welch's place to Iron Cross Street. Perhaps you might sense the notebook and help us confirm Ray Bieber's location." Alright. Klein realized that there's no longer need to be in dilemma. He bade Don farewell and turned around, his heart beginning to count. 3, 2, Hold on. Oh, shit. Hold on, shouted Dunn. Klein turned his head and smiled. Captain, is there anything else? That's a painful smile, guys. Dunn coughed slightly and said, well, support beyonders have to fight their enemies from time to time. Although serious sunlight against such battles, they are not to be ignored. You have to maintain your shooting skills and work on increasing your strength. This is what I'm working hard towards, Klein pointed outside. I'll be leaving. Alright, wait a moment. Dunn shouted for him once more. As he pondered, he said, perhaps you have to consider hiring a combat trainer for you. Of course, this matter is under the premise that you become a formal member. Klein responded tersely before asking carefully, Captain, is there anything else? Asking carefully. No, seeing Klein's unbelievable eyes, Dunn shook his head and smiled. He emphasized again, really nothing. Only then did Klein walk past the partition divider. He bade farewell to Roseanne and Mrs. Ariana and headed to the shooting club for practice. The all of his suddenly went to the Venetian Club and saw the beautiful Angelica sitting there, reading magazines leisurely. Home, Klein silently read with the cane in a hand. Aww. He walked over and greeted with a smile. Aww. Aww. Good afternoon, Miss Angelica. Good afternoon, Miss Moretti. No rush, Angelica put down her magazine. She stood up and said, not long after you left yesterday, Mr. Glasses came. He's just recovered from a major illness. Klein gave a sigh of relief as he smiled. That sure is something worth celebrating. Upon hearing this, Angelica, who was secretly observing him, lowered her voice and asked out of curiosity, Mr. Claces said you are very magical doctor, are you? What? Klein looked at the lady in front of him, suspecting if he was hearing things. What made him think I'm a doctor? Even I do not know. I mean, you basically told him to go to the doctor. I really shipped Klein and Angelica. Yeah, they have some little bit of tension, I feel like. Anyway, next one is the first divination requester. So, basically, I had nearly an 8-hour stream today. We were testing how many chapters can we do. We did 38, 39, so we did like 16 chapters today, and feel like 15, 16 is my limit per day. So next time I'm gonna stream on Tuesday or Wednesday. You can try my Discord to be notified, and we'll do more like, I'm thinking like until 65 next time, right? So yeah, and I'm really enjoying this. And I seriously am. It's just a shame that, you know, I can't read indefinitely. And I will see you guys soon, and I promise I'll come back. I'll do voice acting, because the last 3 chapters I didn't do any voice acting, because making voice acting after reading 13 chapters out loud hurts my voice. Anyway, thank you for coming. Bye guys. I love you so much, really I do.